COVID going around at Raleigh that's affected some of the players as they've returned. So, you know, some players might not have been able to be practicing as much while they've been recovering from that. So, you know, have they not been able to get as much time in as normal? But, you know, the power weapon control on this map is always going to be really crucial. Those rockets there and the grapple hook to be able to get up there and often secure those rockets and the overshield without having to put yourself in dangerous positions. But not just that, to be able to grab the flag from safe positions and bring it up to you is something we've seen used a lot more recently. So things like that are going to be employed across this opening couple of stages of this game. But we are jumping on with Square. He's making a move around to the overshield. So going around, two of them, two overshield and not able to grab it actually. So Mindfreak 2 down, 3 down now, and a really strong start from Divine Mind, able to probably secure that overshield, you'd imagine, and start to make a bit of a push into the bar here as we see the nades coming in as Ninjestics is backing down. He's stuck around pillars, and this is just a position that's going to be really hard for him to get away from. There's Divine Mind players spawning all over, and we are seeing right now, Justin, that Mindfreak early on stuck in the back of their base.
Yeah, a little bit off that initial scuffle. We saw 3 players go down on the Mindfreak roster, and Divine Mind able to get a lot of map control. And look at that, using that grapple hook to launch himself across the map, and on board with Square, trying to put shots across map. Doesn't really collect any himself, but he decides to change angles and move around. It does look like they're trying to get that first flag pull there. And Beaston, now he's got that Mangler. He's got himself a couple of kills already. No deaths, looking for fresh meat. And look at this. I love the way he's moving around the map. Great. He's really using all of those angles to stay alive, Hoots. Yeah, that movement was fantastic. You know, he's in a tricky situation now. Lunchy takes him down, but he was able to stay alive long enough so that Berserk could come in and help him out a little bit, put some shots in on Lunchy and try and get a few cleanups. He's taken down as well, though. And so we are seeing a flag start to move from Slay. So it didn't look like they were really in a position to start making a run because they did have 2 or 3 down at one point. Slays was probably the only guy in the base there, although we do have Dante has managed to move in as well and help him out. So we're seeing this run down through power. Dante staying alive, chucking that flag down and almost being able to get away with his life. But a movement here, and this flag slowly being pushed forward by Divine Mind. They are still going to be in a position to potentially get a touch and keep it alive, but it might be a little bit too risky. Often we see teams just say, no, this one's out, and it looks like we are going to get a return here from Mindfreak. So good effort there, Justin, to be able to regroup after a sort of a pull out of nowhere, really, and be able to send that flag back and start to make a move on their own, potentially for a counter cap as they secure this OS. Yeah, and on board with Ninjestics, who is struggling a little bit, Hooters. He's 0-4 right now, so he needs to warm up. The time is now. Practice time is over, and that overshield going on the chest of Beeson. Here he is, first victim coming in, trying to use that thrust to get out of the way. Lunchy goes down easy. A little bit of a sliver left on that overshield, putting some shots down. But I like this. He instantly turns around and he's looking for map control. He's putting pressure onto these spawners. Lunchy coming out from the sewers there, and does look like Divine Mind's a little bit more set up. They know what they're doing. They got their objectives, boys. We need to get our kills before we start running this flag. They're being very patient with Mindfreak despite outslaying them considerably. Yeah, and Beason's doing that really well. They're just staying alive here and managing to... We are seeing both flags out, actually. So Beason's staying alive, knowing that he has 3 teammates down. So just trying to get him to a situation where he could keep that flag alive. So with both flags away, we do see that little stalemate here where we're going to have Ninjestics running it into his base. And I think Dante was probably running it as well back into his base. So both teams now just in this awkward position where do we send one player back and just try and defend that flag while the 3 of us go out and try and return it, or do we just go all out, send all 4 in, go for a mad push, but potentially risk the flag getting returned while we're away? It's always a tricky situation, and it's one that I know I personally hate, Justin, when playing being in that situation. Oh, I personally love it. It's opportunity to make the hero play, and I'm always, a couple of beers in and go, you know what, boys, I'm going in, all guns blazing. Ended up losing for our team. But a flag, a stalemate, it's all about, you got to get those picks. You don't want to be the first one to die, because as soon as you get a pick, it's an opportunity for your squad to make a push. And as I say, that Slays goes down, but we do get a trade. Berserk getting that cleanup, and Jacko putting in damage across the map. Challenges Berserk, getting the cleanup there, desperately trying to keep what little health he has still, and the push isn't coming in. Divine Mind not opting to go for that cleanup. They're waiting for the pushes before the the picks, before they make their pushes in. And look at this, Dante coming in. He's got the fresh overshield, only a little bit left. Got that grapple shot to launch himself in. Puts Lunchy. Lunchy's shields were only just starting to come back, so he's going to be weak. And look at that bullfrog from behind, and just puts him down there, Hoots.
They look like they were in a position to move in there as well. I don't know who picked up the OS. It popped about 25 seconds ago, and it all of a sudden disappeared. So someone did grab it. I don't know who it was, but that was going to be the key, really, to be able to make this push. And we are seeing, again, just a bit of a reset. It looked like we were going to potentially see a return there by Divine Mind, but unfortunately not able to do it. And they're still back there with this stalemate. Really great kill there by Dante. Unfortunately, he's taken out as well, but taking that Bulldog out of contention. But again, this who knows how long this could go on for. We are seeing just usually one down for each team every now and then. And at that point, you sort of just have to sit there and wait and just hold out and wait for your teammates to respawn before you make that next push, because you know going back into that base, there's at least 3 players probably there waiting for you when you try and return that flag.
Yeah, and I just want to highlight the kills for a second here, Hoots. We have Jacko. He's on 10 kills, so Mindfreak probably pretty happy with their pickup so far. He has got that Bulldog in his back pocket.
Nice.
We know the Mindfreak boys love to bark, and he's got that Bullfrog in his pocket, and here we go with the return. He keeps sliding a little bit over it. He is going to secure it. You know, can you fumble a return like that? You're just sliding over the top of it, but they are managed to get that one in. But is it getting returned?
They didn't.
They've counter-returned.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, Hoots. And that flag standoff, you know, where's the build-up? Where's the payoff? You know, both of them just returned their flags. But as I say that, another flag is on the move. Slays getting that one moving. He is stuck at the double doors right now. A lot of pressure, but he hasn't been hit by much ammunition. As I say that, he just gets taken down. Berserk throwing the grenades in, grabs that fresh overshield, really popping. Is his opportunity to make a push. Perfect kill onto one. Lunchy's there, weak for the double, and opportunity for Divine Mind. Triple kills there if he wants it.
Yes.
He does manage to connect and kill Joy onto that player as well. And Berserk, look at this, triple kill and pushing into the flag to get a pull going. And look at this one-man army. He does go down. Where's his teammates, Hoots?
I know, and that's like you put that overshield on, and all of a sudden he's standing top mid, just putting shots in everywhere, picks up a triple, like moves in for almost an overkill, but the teammates just aren't there because they were all killed on respawn, and now we've had both flags return, so we're back to really square one here. You know, if he just had a little bit more support then with the overshield, we could have seen something really big happen in a flag pull. But you know, when you don't have those teammates there, you can only do so much. That overshield does eventually run out, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does. And back on board with Jacko. Look at that, 17 kills for him. I mean, he's the standout player on the Mindfreak roster. Divine Mind, they're all in the double digits.
Yeah.
And the Mindfreak guy's struggling a little bit, except for Jacko. Nice little back smack for him. Should be a tasty little double. No, he decides to give Ali the respect he deserves. And look at this, changing the angle with that grapple shot, sniffing him out. Assist comes in, and here we go. Looks like a flag is on the move, and it's going to be going. A couple of players still in the respawn screen, and Mindfreak, they're responding with this flag pull. I love this. They're all working together, pushing in, and Jacko really utilizing that equipment there for Beast, and with some equipment of his own, Hoots, using that thruster like it's Halo 5.
Oh, that thruster use was just absolutely perfect, and we saw it look like he was the last line of defense, Beast, and you know, the flag was being pulled from his base, but he was sort of hanging around top mid, just trying to keep people away. Unfortunately, he's dropped, and we are seeing, though, 3 down for Mindfreak, so this flag gets returned again, and unfortunately, they're just not able to capitalize on this. They did have several players down and could have pushed in, but it just didn't work. This OS is about to pop, and we're going to see a movement here. But you know, it does look like the kills are certainly in favor of Divine Mind. But I was doing a bit of quick maths before, and I think it was actually pretty even. Although now looking again, I think Divine Mind are starting to turn the slaying jets on and have pulled out by just a little bit. It is hard to do maths and talk at the same time, but maybe you can do that for me, Justin, while I'm just calling this little bit here. But we are seeing Slays up in the bar here with the Bulldog, getting ready for some close quarters, but we have got 3 down for Mindfreak, so Divine Mind should be looking to start pulling a flag, but doesn't really look like they are able to get this away, unfortunately. So a bit of not a huge amount happening. We do have a flag out, and those grenades are going down just to pretty much keep off the flag. We do see, Justin, those grenades can be so good at area denial there when trying to stop a team from keeping a touch on that flag.
Yeah, and Slays with the killing spree, and he had that overshield, wasn't able to utilize it to get a push going, but he's just been hanging around bottom mid, putting in so much damage, and it's like, boys, are you going to call him out and get him cleaned out? And Square just And it's like, please don't find me, please don't find me. And he gets sniffed out. Beeson putting the first flag onto the board for Divine Mind. A nice little pickup. The COD Pro putting in the first one on the board, and he's instantly helping out his teammates. Last rocket goes through Dante, connecting on Ninjistics there, and with a Mangler in his back pocket now, and looking at the kills, Dante on 13, pretty respectable. Coming in to help Berserk here, the old bait and switch in the Halo Classic, and trying to put in some damage. Finds Square once again. Square just loves hiding in the corners, but he's he needs to be a little bit quieter because he keeps getting sniffed out, Hoots.
Yeah, I know. We highlighted Juckle before, right, when he was on 17 or 18 kills. Look at that now. He's only really been able to put 2 kills on. So we have seen, though, on the flip side, Slays has really started to turn it on, and maybe that's why we've seen a bit of a change in fortunes here. We are seeing another flag starting to be run by Divine Mind, so this one could be put in as well as they make it through the double doors, although Juckle is there providing last night defense, and great nade to follow up as well. 3 down for Divine Mind. Juckle single-handedly returning this effectively. Berserk, I don't think he's going to be in position to really be able to get a touch on this, and that's another return, I believe. So great work there by Jucker. He is taken down, but being able to stop that flag, they were about to go 2-0 up with only about 1:40 to go, so that could have been almost all she wrote, but there is still time for Mindfreak to look at making this one last run for a flag cap, although this OS in the hand of Beast could change that a little bit, Justin.
Yeah, it does look like Divine Minds are starting to push Beaston with that fresh overshield, finding himself 1 second there if he wants it. He does go down. Slays with a little bit of a flank jumping up, using that grapple to launch himself into the back of the base there, but opting to take out the player rather than trying to pull the flag. And look at this, just utilizing his life so well. What a nuisance he's been, just swinging around. And No Way Home spoilers on your screen right now. And Slays doing a lot of work for his squad on 25 kills, topping the leaderboard, finding Jakor, and he's setting himself up for another pull. Look at this, he's just done a circuit onto the Mindfreak side of the map, Hoots. He's just dominant.
Slays is single-handedly taking control, and right now as well, you know, for a while I think they were in the mode of let's just deny them any run at getting onto the other side of the map. Like, you know, right now with 45 seconds to go, I guess the conundrum is, Justin, do you run the flag or do you try and just hold the other team off? It looks like they're trying to run it, just try and get that flag as far away as possible so that Mindfreak have to get out of position to try and get that return. But, you know, if they can get this flag to bottom mid, I reckon that we might almost see this being game over. With 30 seconds left, you're going to have Mindfreak inevitably start to get dropped, but the flag's already through the double doors. They're about to put this in for a second. It looks like no one really from Mindfreak looks like they're in a position to stop this. Rockets in the hand of Divine Mind. Justin, I think this is all they wrote as they put in the second flag, and with 15 seconds left, it's going to be pretty damn hard for Mindfreak to come back from this.
Yeah, you certainly can't yeet 2 flags across the map in under 10 seconds. Slays dropping into that 30 bomb mark. Just such a monstrous player for his squad. Finds another one just in the nick of time. Look
He
at
hasn't
that,
died.
32 kills. He hasn't, no, he's died 11 times.
No.
Bit of an exaggeration.
In that final run, though,
All about those micro movements with your hands and all of those things. It all translates. If you're good with the controller, you can be good with mouse and keyboard. If you're good with mouse and keyboard, you can be good with controller with enough time. But the thing is that Jacko he's a Halo veteran, so how you play Halo and all of those fundamentals, in my opinion, much more important than your input method. You can have perfect aim with a controller or mouse and keyboard, but if you don't know how to play Halo, you're not going to win games. And speaking of games, we are launching in with Jacko. We're just making his head as big as possible, hyping him up a bit there, putting some shots in. Does get a nice grenade over. Look at this pressure that he's applying, and the timing on this. He doesn't manage to connect on the kill. Double there if he wants it. He almost played that perfectly. It's a one-man army, only managing to get one, but he almost had them all together there.
He shouldn't have even been able to get one, to be honest, on that. That was, to be able to pull one out of that was really incredible and take the trade. So even start to begin with, I thought he was going to maybe make a push for that camo at the start, Jucker, but he was more interested in the Slays, and the camo has been picked up. I'm not sure where it is. It might have been dropped by now, given that we are quite a bit of time into this opening stanza of the game. But we are on with Square. It looks like Jucker and Lunchy are the 2 Slay leaders, but you know, this heat wave, we've seen this really rise in prominence. I think at the start people were probably ignoring it a little bit, Justin, but the ability to get up close and just with one melee afterwards, it's a guaranteed kill, almost operating the same way as a Mangler with a bit of spread on it. People are really starting to favour that more and more.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's when I first boot up Halo Infinite for the first time, I was like, man, this weapon sucks. And then once I started watching other people use it, I was like, oh, no, it's just me that sucks. And the Heatwave really proving itself to be a valuable weapon that you can't let the enemy team have. It is just so brutal to come up against. It can just melt you in seconds, and you can use it up close. You can bounce it off walls and all that kind of stuff. So it's good to see a weapon have utility like that. Such a powerful weapon on the map. You've got to have it into your hands. On board with Jacko once again. He's already on 5 kills. Ninjistic struggling a little bit with 0 and 4. Jacko with 5 now. Now on board with Lunchy, flashing shields, trying his best to stay alive. He does get called out and taken down with Beast and Square. Flashing shields himself. A lot of pressure onto the Mindfreak boys here. And Slay's showing his back to Square. Easy kill for him. Full shield so he can challenge another player who's... And Square, let's have a look at his stat lines. He's 3 and 2 at the moment, so pretty respectable. 3 and 3 make that. But Mindfreak, they're in there at the moment. The game's just warming up.
Yeah, Lunchy was hanging around that camo for quite a while. Unfortunately, wasn't able to go through and pick it up. It has been picked up now, it looks like, I believe. So camo is in the hands of someone again. We just haven't really been able to keep a track of that. But we are seeing Divine Mind starting to push out a little bit, a 4-kill lead. But we are seeing, as we expected, I think Jacko and Slays are the two guys who are starting to set the pace. Slays, just as I was looking at his screen there, put on a nice double. And so we are going to see 3 dead for Mindfreak. Unfortunately, Ninjestic's still unable to get a kill. They're racking up 5 assists, so he is definitely putting the team shot in. And that's one thing we do see here is Mindfreak really working as a unit. We've seen them a few times really starting to swarm together, but unfortunately they're running in the wrong way. The Divine Mind guys, Justin, they've actually spawned behind them, it looks like.
Yeah, it's interesting. See, we saw Berserk there. He had the Heatwave, beautiful double kill from Jacko there, and look at that, a little bit of melee there going, yep, that's right, I'm the best. I think he knew that he was on stream there. And look at that, Dante, he's flashing shields as well. Jacko, look at that respect, they're checking the angle first, and then snapping over for the kill to clean that one up. It's pretty incredible. And Beeston, he always seems to have that thrust every single time. And other people aren't picking up. He's like, boys, I'll take that. And he's utilized it so many times to keep himself alive and secure some kills. Ninjistic goes down, still on the old donut there. The old goose is loose at the moment. Jacko again, scoreline 20-25, and putting some nice shots onto Slays, does put him down, and look at that, plenty of shields left. Berserk getting the call out to put him down, unfortunately not able to get the clean arm, and it does look like Mindfreak is trying to claw their way back in. And Jacko, he's on 10 kills already. Ninjistic's on 0, so he's struggling a little bit here. Look at this. Jacko, so much confidence in those 1v1s, and there's Beaston again, sliding in for the cleanup. Perfect kill from Slay, so he's performing for his squad on 10 kills himself.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about... Ninjistic has actually just picked up 2 quick kills, and you look, he's got 8 assists, so he really is still... he's putting in work for his team. The one worry you have is when you're not being able to finish off any kills yourself, do you start to freak out a bit and think you're not doing your role? Do you start to push unnecessarily? So in his mind, he just needs to keep doing what he's doing. Kills will come, but he doesn't need to get overly aggressive. He's still putting in assists and helping his teammates out. Dante with this camo, though, he can do a bit of damage as he starts to go hunting effectively like a shark, moving in here, but players not really around him too much. As he moves in on this flag, though, he's going to be able to pick up square, and he's got that heat wave. So enough with the sprinting. You just got to make sure you keep that camo up, and you'll be able to walk in on square and catch him unawares. The assist picked up straight away, so great teamwork there with the call outs. The BR comes in straight away, the team shot working well, and is able now to push through around. So the advantage there, Dante might not have picked up a huge amount of kills with that camo, but the intel that he was able to give his teammates, as well as not dying himself and moving around the map pretty much unnoticed, is a real advantage using that camo.
Yeah, picking up that wingman as well, which for those playing at home is basically a killing spree, but for assists. So really helping out his teammates there. A couple of heat waves, area denial there, trying to stay alive, but look, trying to hold that angle for his team. Maybe a bit of a ambitious challenge there. A couple of players getting an easy cleanup there. Jacko managing to find himself Berserk, who was flashing shield, and that's 2 players down for Divine Mind. Scoreline is 7 kills in favor of Divine Mind at the moment, but I don't know, Hoots. It feels very even from watching it. Both teams seem to be responding to each other really well, and a scoreline of 7 kills, really another double kill for Jacko, seconds there if he wants it. But yeah, that's only a couple of rotations of kills, so So Mindfreak not out just yet.
No, but they do need to start being careful. Now's not the time to be taking trades or anything like that. You've got to be working with your teammates to get Berserk just throwing a nade right at his face, but you really need to just be working with your teammates here and not letting any trades go through. You just don't have that kind of stuff to spare, and they've done all right. They haven't given away too many in the last 10 or 15 seconds, but Slay's walking in there, and he's still heating up. He's carrying that heat through from that bizarre CTF game, it looks like, and Jucker's trying his best to keep his team in there. He's got the assist coming through from Ninjestics, but unfortunately, it seems like a lot of the time they are just running around like headless chooks a little bit. We do see Jucker there, he's just trying to stay alive because shots are coming in from everywhere, and Slay's managing to finish him off there, but straight away you see the shots come through, and that's that trade that we're talking about there, 1-for-1, and it's not really enough when the game is sort of this pointy and just with only 6 kills to go, and Divine Mind really looking to get in a position to take this series out 2-0.
Yeah, Divine Mind really starting to cement their control on this map, and it was only 7 kills the difference. Now it's 10 kills, and Divine Mind, they only need a few more kills to go. Mindfreak, they're in a little bit of trouble. There is that elimination bracket, but you don't want to be going down this early in the tournament. And Beaston on board with him. He's got 13 kills to his name, 8 deaths, so performing for his squad here. Only 2 more kills to go here, Hoots, and he's throwing nades out. He's sniffing out the players with his teammates, and look at that. They're going in for blood. They're like, boys, let's get this game done and dusted, and look at that. Divine Mind, a pretty convincing 2-0 against the Mindfreak boys.
Yeah, absolutely. We